So the Obi-Wan Kenobi trailer has just been released, and to be continued with is about to break it down. As always, I'm Mike, and I'm going to ask you to please hit the subscribe and bell notification, because right about now, it's time to cue up the intro. On May 25th, Ewan McGregor will once again play the role of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and picking up after the events of Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, we actually get a look and see of what the character's been up to before he ends up taking Luke Skywalker on that great adventure a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Now the trailer starts off on the desert planet of Tatooine, where we see Obi-Wan making his way through what seems to be either Mos Eisley, Mos Espa, or even Anchorhead, along with the desert dunes of Tatooine. He's looking over Luke, who at this point is about 10 years old, and he's playing on top of his aunt and uncle's moisture farm, and he looks like he's pretending to be driving a pod racer, who ironically enough, his dad Anakin was very skilled at about that same age. Now while these scenes are playing out, we hear Obi-Wan narrating that the fight is done. We lost. Stay hidden. The Lucasfilm logo then comes into frame while the Duel of Fates music plays, and when it fades away like sand blowing in the wind, we hear a Grand Inquisitor say that the key to hunting the Jedi is patience. And then we see an Inquisitor ship flying towards a black tower that's in the middle of a body of water, only to cut to the Grand Inquisitor himself. He then continues his narration by saying that the Jedi cannot help what they are. Their compassion leaves a trail. The Jedi code is like an itch. He cannot help it. While hearing this, we catch Obi-Wan on a transport in the desert, and then we cut to a chamber that seems to be in that black tower that I mentioned before, sitting in the water, just to see an Inquisitor giving orders to one of his elite soldiers. In the next scene, we see the townspeople looking at someone who was hung in public as a warning to others. The next scene is that elite Inquisitor soldier from before, and she's turning around looking at Luke's Uncle Owen dead in the eye. The same Inquisitor chick is now on a rooftop, which seems to be on a new planet that we've never seen before. An Imperial ship then lands on Tatooine, and an Imperial officer steps out. The next cutscenes show us Obi-Wan keeping a low profile and checking out what those Inquisitors are up to on that new planet that I mentioned before. Now, a Stormtrooper is shown looking like he's about to take down a tough-looking droid, and that same Inquisitor is now jumping across a rooftop. The music is building up, and the Grand Inquisitor is spinning his dual lightsaber at someone. The words "between darkness, defeat, and hope survives" appear on the screen. While in between these words, we catch a glimpse of Stormtroopers being led by the fifth brother, who's another Inquisitor, on that new planet that I mentioned before. We see two ships that are seen flying in space, and they kind of look like escape pods from A New Hope, and then we see someone being cut off by that female Inquisitor who is brandishing her own lightsaber. The trailer ends with what seems like a showdown between that Inquisitor soldier and someone we're not familiar with. And then simply it ends with a close-up of Obi-Wan looking at something only to focus his attention in another direction. The show logo comes into frame along with the Disney Plus logo being punctuated with Obi-Wan's blue lightsaber. And that's it. It's a really cool trailer that captures our attention, and as I mentioned, this series takes place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. Obviously, we saw young Luke, and I'm hoping that we actually see Leia somewhere in this series too. But since you heard me mention the Inquisitors a lot, allow me to provide a little backstory on them. The Inquisitors are Jedi hunters that were trained by Darth Vader, and even though they're not Sith like him, they do hunt down and kill Force-sensitive individuals who are still around after Episode 3 and Order 66 that was given by the Emperor. Now, I could easily make an entire episode dedicated to them, but if you're interested in learning more about them, check out the Clone Wars and the Rebels show on Disney Plus to get a better understanding. And if there's any gamers out there, please check out Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order if you haven't done so. It's one of the best games. Now, one thing I know is that, like most fans, I've been waiting for this series to become a reality, because not only is it centered around Obi-Wan Kenobi and his time watching over Luke, but it also marks the return of Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker. We also get the actors who played Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru at the end of Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, in this actual series. But this show will highlight the Empire at a powerful and sadistic point during their rule over the galaxy, with this trailer simply being the beginning of what's to come. As I mentioned at the start, please hit the subscribe link and support the channel, and don't forget the bell notifications so you can catch the latest from me and the channel. Because this is a small taste of what's to come, at least we all know and can say with confidence that this isn't the end. It's simply to be continued with, specifically on May 25th on Disney+.